I thought for every FM we need to have a forum to talk, to share knowledge. You need an ecosystem. An ecosystem has to have everything. So I felt it, why not TFMC can be 10 years of events, 10 years of networking, 10 years of ecosystem, 10 years of togetherness with the government and supporting people like you.
There's a lot of hybrid work culture that is happening. Transportation is not what it used to be.
I really appreciate entrepreneurs like you who are coming forward and creating this sort of technology which is very helpful for any organization to build on a better transport system.
Transportation is one of the biggest cost expenditure that companies face. There's always a scope for improvement, and that's
Absolutely.
the beauty of it.
How do we impact the society? How do we impact the fraternity? These are the two different areas which TFMC is always concerned. Every rural part of India is the strength of India.
As a leader, I always carried the principle of being empathetic to people.
An employee-based company, without technology, they can't run business. Today, they need people like you and people who can hear our problems. Always trying to balance between a profit versus a manpower industry, and we work with emotions. Today, world is talking about EV.
Do you think that is the only technology that is there? Hello everyone, welcome to the WhistleShow. Our guest for today is a very key figure in the Indian facility management ecosystem. He is the founder and president of Telangana Facility Management Council, popularly known as TFMC, which has grown into a thriving network of over 600 Indian facility managers. He is also the managing director of 24 SIBS, which is an end-to-end facility management solutions platform, and has previously led large-scale India operations at EY. His work goes just beyond operations, driving sustainability to initiatives like Handloom Monday and advising city authorities on the infrastructure. His work is a mix of vision and action. Without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Satyanarayana Mathala. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Prashanth. I think it's a privilege that you called me for this podcast. Maybe this is first of its kind. I'm sure I've been doing a lot of interviews in TV9, TV5, but especially talking about something about the industry. And a podcast will help to understand our FMs or the industry leaders, what is the importance of the transportation, and then some topics which we throw out for the whole podcast. So thank you for inviting me on behalf of TFMC. I thank you for the entire WhistleDrive for inviting me for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, let me roll you back through your years of your service in this industry. You started your journey in 2001, and it's been more than 25 years since you've been in this industry.
Absolutely.
You have you performed multiple roles. You started your journey as a facility manager. Now you started TFMC alongside being a managing director to a company called 24 SIBS.
Yeah.
And you're a philanthropist as well. Yeah. So how do you juggle between all these roles, sir?
Basically, to start with, anybody do something for bread and butter. Undoubtedly, everything starts with a hunger of achieving something in life. But my career started in 2000 with, I was working with HSBC as global resourcing. At the time, HSBC just started their operations in India, like 1999, global resourcing started. So I got an opportunity after completing my MBA. I've done my MBA from Andhra University, and after that came here to Vizag, from Vizag to Hyderabad. And then we started my journey with HSBC. That's the first step towards the success of working with a corporate company. And we started learning because, the global cultures have been learnt by working with global companies. And then it was very interesting to learn the cultures of how global really acts. And for us, what it means is how do you understand their culture is what I understood for the whole lot of 25 years. And every company has a culture. Every organization has a culture. So getting into the system is what you have to understand to be a successful employee.
Right.
So that is what I learned, to be very honestly speaking, what a customer needs. Like everything boils down to one thing called a customer. And how successful you are delivering your service to the customer. Typically, it's a banking industry. and the accuracy is 100 to, it's 100 out of 100 marks. You can't say that I'm 99.9%.
Correct.
We used to process a lot of back-end operations, checks, DDs, and the back-end operations, how it runs.
Right.
So we understood the accuracy and customer expectations, what I understood for my whole journey of HSBC. And then later moved to Pega Systems. If you know, Pega is one of the leading IT service provider. They typically are into product development company. So we have built Pega into, I was the 20th employee when I joined Pega.
Wow.
So I got an opportunity to, from a scratch, to build the organization in terms of infra, transport. And then there is a different culture again from a banking to an IT product development company, there is always a sea change.
True.
Which you have to adopt very fastly. And then I understood the culture of the ITITS pattern of learning, and then slowly evolved, started learning. And then we thought, one fine day I thought, for every FM we need to have a forum of to talk, to share knowledge. We need a lot of support as an FM. You can't work in silos.
Correct.
You need an ecosystem.
True.
At the time I was feeling that there is no ecosystem. There are forums which all vendors are coming together and talking, but there is no forum where all the ecosystem is not very well set up.
Right.
Typically silos, and only vendors used to come like a marketplace, showcase the product,
right.
And then they move on.
Right.
But there is no other ecosystem like government is plugged in, where corporate is plugged in. So you understand that an ecosystem has to have everything,
Correct.
And you need to also work on the CSR for your own state. So all these factors which are working in all different directions.
Right.
So I felt it, why not TFMC can be one. At that time we used to call it as FMC, Facilities Management Council.
Right.
And it is that it's a common state when we started, and then finally the state, the so-called Telangana created, and always one of the biggest asset what TFMC has, Mr. Sri Jayesh Ranjan IAS, he's been always a great mentor. His ideology and direction was always it was seamless for me to actually drive the whole, and we are very fortunate that 2018 it was we named this as TFMC because our contributions to the government is around 70%. We are contributing to the government success. We call that we are promoting the handloom, we are promoting a lot of ideas to bring our infrastructure the better way. Like your metros is one ideas which we said the footfall has been also been given ideas, or some of the thought process is given to L&T Metro.
Right.
And we've been giving a lot of advices on the traffic. From the industry, we used to brainstorm and say, hey, we need a couple of junctions to be developed, couple of flyovers to be laid on because of the traffic congestions. So we are going hand on hand supporting the government. So that's one best part what TFMC is always succeeding, and thanks to all my fraternity leaders from different departments who've been the trust what they have shown, giving me that opportunity to lead this, and that one thing is moving on years together. Now we are in the 11th year of my event.
Right.
So 10 years of the success is what, if you look back to me, 10 years of events, 10 years of networking, 10 years of ecosystem, 10 years of togetherness with the government, and supporting people like you. Typically, today we don't call vendors.
Right.
They are no more vendors. They are our
Right.
partners.
Right.
We always used to reframe and saying that they are our business partners. They are our business leaders.
Right.
Today, without people like you, I'm putting some words like WhistleDrive, example I'm taking it. So transportation is one of the key factors for success of an organization.
Right.
And then we used to call all the vendors, sit with them, talk what is your challenges.
Right.
Typically this is the industry, we should also sit across the table and have a dialogue with the vendors, dialogue with the partners.
Right.
If this is not happening,
Right.
I'm sure we go in two different directions.
True.
The organization vision is also aligned with the partner's vision. So your vision and my vision should actually come into one straight line. So
Right.
this is not happening exactly 10 years back, but I see today a lot of changes are happening in the industry.
Right.
together, I think from the business partner versus the corporate company are sitting together for the success.
Absolutely.
So these are the points which I felt how from an employee to an entrepreneur is the journey which I understood from 25 years.
Right.
So
I think post-COVID, so what happened is earlier, like you rightly mentioned, service providers like us are being looked at as just vendor partners. But now post-COVID, with so many dynamics that have come into the picture, right? Corporates are looking towards or corporates are looking up to vendors as not just vendors but as solution providers.
yep.
How they can be their advisors because. For example, there's a lot of hybrid work culture that is happening.
Agree.
Transportation is not what it used to be. It used to be pretty much predictable pre-COVID.
Yeah.
For transport managers from the corporate side, it was very easy to manage transport back then.
Absolutely.
But now it has become so dynamic that they are relying on the transport vendors to provide solutions for them.
Yeah.
So that's a change that I have seen pre-COVID and post-COVID. Now coming back to your journey from 2000 till 25, sir, what I felt was, facility managers earlier was very narrowed down in handling only the, the housekeeping part or maintenance part.
Correct.
Now with so much technology that is coming in, with so many global capability centers focusing on India to set up their offices, right? Now facility management is no more just about, handling housekeeping or, maintenance, etc.
Yeah.
They have become more strategic partners for businesses in terms of taking business decisions also.
You're right, Prashanth.
You have seen that evolution from 2000 till date, right, sir?
Absolutely.
How do you think it's going to continue?
See, I've been exactly a decade, if you see the journey, how we used to understand things from a vendor. It's typically a pick up and a drop.
Right.
If you ask me, we have a typical log sheets.
Right.
Everybody has to go through the log sheet, or your Excels used to, the spreadsheet used to help how many kilometers a cab used to clock.
Right.
But you see, you don't see a spreadsheet now. You don't see a manual sheet
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Everything is, is automated.
Right.
Typically, it's designed as per your formulas, designed as per your typical softwares which come into system. People are not really worried of, they're not spending hours together only to check your log sheets.
Correct.
Everything is registered in your digital print, everything is registered.
Everything is digital.
So the accuracy has increased. At the time we used to struggle to calculate the kilometers.
Right.
We used to ask the vendors why in a cab which is traveling from here from an X to Y location, why there is a difference in kilometers. And there is 100 answers from the driver or for the vendor with different reasons. Now there is no dialogue between why kilometers have changed.
Right.
Because it's pretty evident that every minute, every kilometer, every thing is being registered into the system.
Correct.
And that's automated.
Right.
Number two, when we see 10 years versus what we are looking at 25,
Right.
The systems are very convenient to work.
Right.
I mean, employees are very happy working with the transport system now because everything is transparent now.
Right.
They don't need to go to a facilities manager or an executive and say, hey, where is my cab? Can you know which route I have to get into a cab? So everything is automated. You have your own dashboards.
Right.
You have, the moment somebody goes to the pickup point, your route is being predefined in the system itself.
Right.
So the communication channels are established very well. The system is helping to channelize the transport in a better way for both the parties.
Right.
One is from a business partner for the vendor's perspective. If you see, they are also very clear that how many cabs they have to assign for the day of the event for a pickup and drop.
Right.
Initially, it was like more of a manually people used to count people and say so and so shift login has 100 people. The second login have 50 people, third login has 80 people.
Right.
So, and there used to be a lot of no-shows. I remembered because I was with HSBC.
Right.
We used to handle 600-700 employees, close to 1,000 plus. I'm talking about 2005-06.
Right.
So we used to struggle a lot. Who will come, who won't come, we don't know. We have set up a small help desk.
And
calling.
there is a cost to the company as well.
Cost to the company. A small help desk with 5 phones, with 4 executives sitting in the transport help desk, calling everyone and say, are you coming today for the office?
Right.
somebody say that no, then again somebody has to log and sheet and say he's not coming. Again the same phone has to reach the driver and say he's not coming. So a lot of communication channels, a lot of people involved in this because there is no technology.
Right.
Very simply talking about.
Right.
Now all this stuff is eliminated.
Right.
The channels are eliminated. Due to the channels, the efficiency, the no-shows has been reduced, which is a cost-effective both for the company as for the vendor.
Right.
And then the employee is also knowing how many kilometers has been clocked. These are some of the advantages which I'm seeing a transformational change.
Absolutely.
If you say drastically everything has changed. Now people are only talking about relying on technology. Today I've seen there are no company which has not adopted a technology.
Right.
Without technology partners like you, I'm sure with my knowledge of around 800-900 companies, without a technology partner they're not running business.
True.
And if today somebody is not running with technology, I'm thinking they are late.
Right.
They have to think that adopt a technology for your transport. It saves your cost. It saves your employee experience.
Right.
It gives a lot of different experience to the employee and to the company.
Right.
So this is one thing which I want to tell you, that people like you who came forward with a great technology,
right.
Which I'm sure I've seen your technology in a couple of events, and the way you are built in, and people like you who are also into the market. I really appreciate entrepreneurs like you who are coming forward and creating this sort of technology, which is very helpful for any organization to build.
Right.
On a better transport system.
Right. And the beauty of it is, sir, although we built a comprehensive technology, the companies want few more features to be added.
Yeah.
There's always a scope for improvement, and that's
Absolutely.
the beauty of it.
Absolutely.
And the process is a continuous process. There's no full stop to it. That's what we have learned over a period of time.
I agree.
There's always some of the other enhancement that people are looking for. Sir, you said TFMC it's 11th year, and it's going to celebrate its 11th
so May
anniversary
30th. May 30th we are actually doing our 11th annual national annual day.
Right.
So that's where I think we have started communicating with all our partners, all our facilities industry to come and celebrate with us.
Right. So in these 11 years of your journey, what are the most interesting learnings or instances that you have faced as a president of TFMC?
Yeah, I think the day starts with we just started with a couple of 10 or 15 people, like-minded people, saying that why don't we create a forum?
Right.
And typically a forum, today's world there is no time, Prashanth. People are busy and they don't have time to really cater for your forums.
Right.
Because everybody is busy. Last 10 years you could take, everybody is in the career, getting into the career progression into their life. So the 10 or 15 people, when we sat together, then we said we need to have a forum to speak, and the voices should be heard to multiple parties.
Right.
And then we started working towards a vision. Vision is towards how do we impact the society, how do we impact the fraternity. These are the two different areas which TFMC is always concerned. To talk in nutshell, community, weavers are one of the areas where we thought they were being suffered a lot. If you've seen 10 years back, post Telangana,
right.
You've seen, I'm sure, I think you've seen a lot of videos and a lot of news that weavers industry is the most affected industry because the earnings are pretty less.
Yes.
Per day, even the whole family work in the weaving industry, they earn around 500-600 rupees, which is 500-600 for whole family is not worth to do.
Absolutely.
And then government used to support, as you know. I mean, they want to enhance their family thing. So we believed that why can't an IT employee, we're talking about at the time it was 5.5 lakh IT employees when you're talking about 10 years back. Then we said, why don't we promote them in all IT parks, just sell their products.
Right.
Handicrafts, artisans, these are the places where we don't really go and buy, because you can tell me how many people have gone to Pochampalli to buy.
Absolutely.
Typically, because of time factor, because of awareness, they don't get it. So we thought we'll bring the complete weaving industry to the IT parks. So that's one great thought which I've shared with to Jayesh Ranjan Garu.
Right.
And he accepted that, yes, Satya, this is a good initiative, you can start. And we started with one event, and there is no look back now. 10 years we've been supporting them.
Right.
That's more of a community impact. And then we've identified a lot of lakes, a lot of parks. We identified a lot of hospitals, schools, libraries. These are all things we are upgraded with the CSR funds.
Right.
And if you ask me how TFMC got a CSR fund, no, we are not a self-sufficient body. We certainly have some corporates who are supporting us. And then we've approached all my corporate leads who are part of the industry, like facilities managers, few of the CEOs, CFOs, and said, this is the typical projects we have in our hand. This school has to be adopted for a better education, or this hospital is has to be modified in a better way or refurbished in a better way for the patients.
Right.
So these are small projects, but they are very impactful for the rural India.
Right.
If you talk about, that every rural part of India is the strength of India.
Correct.
India, it doesn't mean that it's all cities.
Right.
So I always believe that the rural India should also be uplifted with some sort of help.
Right.
Where we only talk about the town.
Right.
But what is that? Today you see 33 districts, and everybody can adopt one district and say that in that district I can adopt one village of a school or a hospital or a library. I mean, that CSR is also redefining in different way. Initially it was only orphanage homes, and then some sort of the old traditional way of CSR, but today the whole system has changed.
Right.
So I keep investigating and then understanding, doing a lot of research where that we can put some time and money for improvement of our own state. So these are some of the areas we've been always focusing. The TFMC is just not a forum of meeting and just meet. It's not at a meeting. Absolutely, right. This one day is what we all meet and greet, and we appreciate the government.
Right.
So one best part of TFMC we have seen last couple of years. We appreciate all the warriors. Typically your traffic constables who are on the road, who guide us entire day, all 365 days. We always reward them during this event. We call the HMWS waterworks and sewage board, which they are people even not seeing the sewage board worker working.
True.
When it's typically a rainy season, you know what will happen.
True.
All roads are clogged up.
Absolutely.
So you have seen a couple of police constables working in the deep water, taking out the jam and all stuff. So we always want to reward them.
Correct.
Because there is no other body who rewards all the workers. And they are the last level in an employee in terms of the government employee,
right,
where they can't really come onto a bigger stage and take that awards.
True.
So we always want to empower them and encourage them that you are part of the society.
Right.
And yes, hey, we are recognizing you because of you we are going to offices.
Right.
It can be a transport, it can be an IT employee driving his own car. If you don't have that ecosystem of a traffic constable or the GHMC worker who is cleaning your road,
the world would be chaotic. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, but how many people have a time to really look back and see who is doing all this for you?
Right.
So we picked that couple of society impactful ideas, making transformative, and then this way I think collaboratively working with the government.
Absolutely.
And now they are also listening to us because to our voices, because we've been also rewarding them, and wherever they need support. Today I have a list of around 40 or 50 lakes which I have discussed with the commissioners and journal commissioners. They come to me and say, Satya, this is 30 lakes has to be adopted, 30 lakes has to be beautified, or beautification has to be done. So we take that opportunity to take back everything, a single project to the corporate world.
Right.
So collaborative way we are doing this, Prashanth. I mean, the TFMC is always inclusive of the ideas, and this is what we are trying to build.
So in fact, we were there in the last TFMC event that happened in April 2024, right? And you were talking about warriors. The name you have given them is warriors, which is so apt, because what stood out for me in that event is, not just panel discussions or felicitating the facility managers, but what stood out was this part where you were felicitating the frontline workers.
Absolutely.
I think that is something, that was a great gesture that I always wanted to tell you. And I'm taking this as an opportunity to tell that to you, sir.
Thank you, Prashant. Thanks.
Let's go back to the handloom industry, sir. You've always been a strong supporter of handloom industry. Do you think the challenges that the handloom industry is currently facing is lack of digital visibility, or the earnings, like you rightly mentioned, the hard work that goes into stitching a handloom versus the earnings that a person makes is very less compared to the normal garments that are being marketed. So what are the challenges that you have seen, sir, and how are you trying to overcome it?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Prashant. I mean, this is very important for all the viewers to know, because I always feel that between two people talking in a room versus talking on a podcast, on an air or the news, is always because we're trying to educate people. Number one, to the viewers who are seeing this podcast, handloom is something, it's part of our life actually. Today, what you wear, what I wear, what the whole society wear. Yes, handloom, and somebody is making it for us. Absolutely, a weaver is actually doing so much, like a farmer.
Right.
But unfortunately, what happened is they are in a very remote places. Number one. Number two, they don't have media to come and sell it in the market.
Correct.
So bigger malls or bigger brands directly don't encourage them. Unfortunately, we encourage the global brands, but locally made things are being not really. I'm not saying everybody, but typically still that awareness has to increase. If you ask me, out of scale of 100, only 15 to 20% of people are still really choosing the handloom. And we clearly told that handloom Monday, if you remember, handloom Monday,
Absolutely,
handloom
yeah.
Wednesday.
Right.
Any week in a day, why don't you wear one handloom shirt or a kurti of a female? I mean, what will happen is, in this millions of people or crores of people who are staying in India, I mean, if you start one day of it, it will make much easy for their life, The amount of, we always say that demand versus supply.
Correct.
So if people started wearing, the demand goes up.
Right.
And the supply will also grow up, and the family will manufacture more. So there are some challenges of handloom. Government, I'm sure government is doing so much by creating some societies. We call as some sort of societies are created in all the states.
Right.
They sell all the material to the societies, and societies in turn will create small shops in your city and then sell. But how many people will reach the shops? How many people will know there is a handloom store in Hyderabad? How many of them will know? Because these are remotely places in the middle of the city. Like, example, if you take Hyderabad, near to the Gandhi Bhavan, you have a couple of shops of handloom.
Right.
But if you are from out of Hyderabad, how many people will know? How many people will have time when you're staying in Gachibowli, you're going to a bit of the city?
Right.
A lot of people call me and say, where do I get a shawl?
Right.
I want to felicitate my expats. I want to felicitate for a good reason.
Right.
They don't know where to get it.
Right.
So they're typically the communication channels and the typically the places where you want to buy, still that has to be more.
Right.
And then every IT park should also create a small space, what I have suggested the government law, also saying that one small space for an artisans and handloom, so that people will approach. The approachability is pretty close by.
Right.
You don't need to go for 5-10 kilometers to buy a shawl.
Right.
It should be pretty close. I mean, if you go to any mall also, you don't find the shawls. You will only find the branded items.
Right.
So we identified that why don't you bring the weaver directly to the IT companies?
Right.
And that's one idea which has moved out very successfully.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You can't go there.
Right.
And you have an interest to buy.
Right.
But there is no time. The only way is bring the material with the weaver and put it in your IT parks. Where you come for a coffee or you come for a break, before leaving home, why don't you buy your bed sheet? Why don't you buy your clothes? Why don't you buy the kurtis and all this stuff?
Right.
So that was one idea. And then 2018 we got the best award from the last government as one of the Telangana Formation Day. We say that one of the best contributor towards the handloom and other initiatives is TFMC. And on record it was around 3.4 crores of worth of khadi was sold.
Wow.
For the last 10 years. So this is a typical number which I've quoted in a couple of meetings with the government as well.
Right.
We told the government this is the worth of sale we have generated only for the weavers. So they coming here and selling, so they're very, very happy. We used to call it an IT handloom mela.
Right.
We also named it as IT handloom mela. Means in IT parks the handloom guy will come and sell the handloom clothes.
Got it.
So it was typically 3-4 days they used to come sell. They used to come with a family. We used to take care of their expenses. We used to take care of the transport thing. So aram se 3 days in an IT park, sell it, happily you go with a smile. So we used to do that, and we continuously doing that type of initiatives. which will impact their industry, as
Right.
we're creating made in India. Typically, we are all talking about made in India. So we've been practicing for last 10 years of made in India.
Right.
Buy the clothes which is actually made it of in your own town.
Right.
And still I follow that one day in a week I wear handloom. Absolutely, I'll follow that.
Okay.
Being handloom, it always have a positive vibe, because I practiced it. I'm telling with you, Prashant. It always gives a different mindset for the day.
Okay.
I've seen it actually.
Okay.
I'm sure the bigger people also.
I think it has something to do with the culture of handloom, sir. It dates back to 1,000 years back, right, where the culture of handloom existed. And once you start wearing it, you'll also feel that culturally close.
Culturally close.
Yeah.
On the day when you meet people, also the way they greet you also changes. Because I personally felt,
Right.
whenever I've gone to any government offices, whenever I've gone to any typical corporate companies, the way they look me is always different. It's pretty positive way of looking me. I'm more of an Indian, and I'm not saying that people are wearing other brand, not, but typically, you own it because you made it of. So that feeling was very positive when you used to wear it on a Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
And then by seeing me, a lot of my facilities managers, we also started wearing one day in a week.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of female FMs. I've seen a lot of CEOs, CXOs, CFOs also started wearing one day handloom in their offices.
Okay.
We started slowly making it as a culture. But I'm sure still we are talking with a lot of people and saying that why can't you do a weekly once? Not a mandate. It's a purely with interest. Nothing
Right.
is a mandate when you're talking about a passion.
Correct.
So that way, I think we can increase some sort of empower the viewers of any state. I mean,
Right.
irrespective of Telangana, I'm talking, but a lot of people belong to Hyderabad or for different parts of India.
Right.
So to empower them, they can also buy some of the handloom clothes when they visit their native places.
Right.
When they visit their hometowns,
Right.
that way I think you are supporting your own ecosystem of your village.
Right.
Because everybody is connected, heart is connected to their village. The
Correct.
heart is connected to the place where you gave birth.
Right.
But typically, these are the places which you get nostalgic when you go and see. Still, when I go to my native place, I want to see my old school. I want to see my old friends.
Which is your native place, sir, by the way?
I actually born from a place called Rajahmundry
Okay.
in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
And then now with Hyderabad, Telangana, I've been 27 years now here. But still, I think we want to somewhere. I mean, all roots are connected to your native place. So, still, what can we do for your own city? I suggest that people who are coming from different parts of India, from the villages, I think when you go back to your home for a vacation,
Right.
go back to your artisans, go back to your weaving industry and buy one shirt or one kurti for your kid, and that way I think you're not giving back, contributing money towards some poor, but certainly it will roll back some economic benefit for the handloom weavers or for some part of society.
Right.
So this I keep telling to a lot of people when I meet.
Right.
That's the only way you can do. I mean, if
Right.
I'm trying to motivate you,
Correct.
and you try to motivate a lot of viewers, a lot of friends of you, and say that why don't you wear handloom?
Right.
We never know the real benefit of it. It might impact the society at a large.
Right. Right.
Immediately, you don't see the results.
True. True. I think it has more to do with the access, sir. And
Absolutely,
I
access.
think what you're doing right now with promoting handloom in IT parks, I think, do you have any plans to replicate that in other cities as well? Because there's so much IT industry booming across India. So I think that way, I think you'll get more, you'll give more visibility to handloom industry as
No,
well.
that's a very right way you are giving that point, Prashant.
Right.
But again, it has to be a form of a team like Satya. You need to have a lot of Prashants, you will have a lot of Satyas who have to come forward. Because that industry, nobody, push you that. You have to push it.
Right.
There are industries where people don't ask you. You have to say, why don't you?
Right.
And then I'm very, very happy that whichever IT park, whichever IT company which I used to go and talk, hey, why don't you promote handloom? I'm sure never there was a no from any of them. Because that type of love towards that.
Right.
And then, and still I speak to a lot of weavers in the industry. They call me and say, sir, are you doing handloom events?
Right.
And then a lot of people reach me out when they come to Hyderabad. Then they meet me in the office, saying that, sir, we have done a fabulous. Our life has been much better because of we are able to sell directly to the customer here, and there is no middleman. And most probably their whole community, what will happen is they will certainly have a mediator, because they can't come directly from a rural place to Hyderabad and do it. Certainly they will have a trustworthy distributor or something which they sell it, and in turn they transport it to Hyderabad. But people like you and me start encouraging people, bringing directly from rural and providing some accommodation for 4 days, and encouraging their material to be sold. And the material are pretty close to our lives.
Correct.
If you take the bed sheets, which is useful for your daily need.
Absolutely.
If you take your hanky, which is your daily need. And you take your shirt, you take your trouser, or you call it as a handloom coats. You wear it for your bigger occasions. So everything is very connected to your daily life, your lifestyle, But again, having said that, how many people have time? How many people are really passionate to support some cause? Today CSR is not that you go take some money and pay to somebody who is not into that, who are into the poverty line. They can also do a similar CSR by wearing something, doing something. It also go back to society. So this is one point which I want to message everyone, saying that it can be handloom or it can be any other thing. Which a rural or a village is manufacturing, and now today sustainability, you're talking about sustainability. They are manufacturing in eco-friendly products. Like your water bottles, like your your bags. So why don't you buy that sort of stuff from the rural India? I mean, you are empowering them, and today you are making them as entrepreneurs. The town is growing towards a different set of like your startup culture has already come. Why don't you encourage the rural India to also become like you? You just buy it from them, just encourage from them. So parallelly, the economy also grows towards an equal way. I don't say equally like your city is growing. I don't say that, but typically that also grows in the ecosystem to some extent.
So apart from handloom, you are a very active person in suggesting city authorities on infrastructure, etc. On that front, you recently visited AP, and you have given a session on cyber attacks, right? Could you throw some light on that?
Yeah, see, this is typically the discussion started, like what happening for the last couple of years is cyber attacks, number one. And then everybody is receiving fraudulent calls. Like even today, you're calling someone, there is a message directly from the government saying that anybody can call you, and if you are not alert, you lose your money. So even all our phones, which are, when you're calling someone, there's an alert from the government itself. And it has gone to a next level. People are losing money every day and day out, every minute, every second. Due to I don't say awareness, people have awareness, but at that point of instant, people are losing money. I've seen my close friends, I've seen my close families, I've seen my close fraternities who are actually been under that threat of losing money or getting cheated by the fraudulent calls. See, coming back to the square, today CSR is not only again paying something, getting something. Today the CSR is also getting awareness to the people to stop this fraudulent calls, cyber attacks. So when I visited AP, I spoke to the DGP Garu of Andhra Pradesh, and apparently I was traveling and they've called me and said we need support. Typically Andhra and Telangana, I spoke to both of the police officers, and then I said, what support you need? Typically the first support was, they said we need a infrastructure support like laptops. And then these laptops are useful for every police warrior to get it trained on the new softwares. I'm sure they are having their own infrastructure though, but still some support from the corporates will enhance to make much faster in terms of the response. So we have recently spoke to Controllers, who is one of the leader in the data centers. So thanks to the CMD of Controllers and people who are in the Controllers, and I sold that idea, saying that why can't laptops have been sponsored or donated to the team. So that way I think the whole idea has worked out, and we did a program last month in AP, there were around 50 barriers that have been identified from police department, from different departments like CCS, crime departments.
Okay.
Now laptops are given to them. Now they will put their own software, train their own system, own team into the new technology, how to eradicate, stop the cyber security.
Okay.
So by doing this, I mean, somebody in the country will actually, not under threat of the cyber security.
Right.
So one way, the infrastructure is already given by the government, but still they need a lot of corporate support. Some people say that, can somebody build a typical cyber security software for us?
Right.
See, I mean, we have to be supportive to the government initiatives, because government can't do everything.
Right.
Government is all about people.
Right.
So if you also start contributing towards some of the areas like cybersecurity, which is more threatening today, it can. I'm sure we are sitting in this studio. I'm sure today in the studio, how many people have affected with the cybersecurity? We never know.
Right.
It can be a 10 rupees. It can be 10 lakhs also.
Right.
And this is happening every minute. You can't stop it. You can stop it by awareness. You can stop it by empowering the police people. And then if you are capable, like your IT companies are capable, create a software which can actually stop this sort of attacks.
Right.
So there is a lot of work we are doing. I'm sure that next 5 years we'll be talking more about the eradication of or stopping of the cybersecurity through TFMC by providing some infrastructure. Some of them were telling that we need smartphones to work upon the softwares.
Right.
So there are a lot of requests coming from the department. So certainly I think a lot of my fraternity is also very keen to come forward and support. We are talking with 5-6 companies who are also keen to give laptops.
Okay.
So that way,
and those laptops are, the brand new laptops or the used ones. I mean, this is just to understand how companies like, WhistleDrive or any corporate for that matter can contribute more to.
Yeah, I think this is a good question, Prashanth. I mean, what will happen is for any IT company, we call as 3 years is typically the lifetime of a laptop for a corporate.
Right.
For a common man, when you buy, it can be 5 years, 10 years. But for a ITS or any sizable company, we say 3 years. On the books, we say that it's no more an asset. We call it as an scrap or whatever you call it. And they sell it to their employees or they sell it to a typical reseller with some cost.
Right.
When they certainly do that, so my idea to companies today, talking to a lot of CEOs, CFOs and facility sets or HRs, I say that why did you cap some of the laptops to the cybersecurity warriors? And that's good that you are also promoting one big initiative from your organization.
Right.
It can be a brand new laptop. Somebody can, if they are very good, they are giving a brand new laptop. Somebody is saying that our budgets are to an extent, we can reconfigure the laptop. Like people generally do is they don't give actual laptop to the donation to any institutions.
Right.
Again, they remodify with your new processor, new CPU, because a lot of data security is there.
Right.
So all laptop has to be reconfigured, and this is what we are trying to do: reconfigure and then put an operating system on the laptop and handing out in the right procedures. We are identifying police, we are identifying police stations.
Right.
And we are also understanding that where it is properly used. We can just not giving a laptop to the police people. We are also seeing that is that useful for them or not. So
Right.
TFMC has been continuously understanding the usage of the 100% utilization of the laptop which given by some corporate.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what when I reached you also last time. It can be 5 laptops, it can be 7 laptops, we never know. This is also small contribution.
Right.
So somebody is capable of giving 100, somebody will say 5. So overall in a large, I think the whole system should be enabled with the proper infrastructure is the whole idea of TFMC.
Right. So, sir, you are an entrepreneur. You are very much active in social causes. So basically, you are like a social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Did you ever face challenge between solving or balancing between the purpose and profit? Because at the end of the day, you are a businessman. You need to generate profits, which runs bread and butter. You need to pay salaries to your employees, and at the same time, your purpose should not take a backseat. How do you kind of balance both these things, sir?
See, I mean, today any business is start with a business. The motto is profit. So
Right.
for you, for me, for anybody who is starting a business, your Tata's, Birlas also started a business for a profit, and that means it actually.
Right.
But when we are starting doing that, always I feel that today when I started my facilities management company.
Right.
So what will happen is today my company has started, today I have around 700 employees working with me, Prashant. But my roots are again social.
Right.
So if you see, is very surprised to hear that my team who is working as a soft services team, they always wear handloom. Half of the dress is put of handloom.
Oh,
I can show when I get an opportunity. They
sure.
because again I'm implementing handloom for all my staff and nobody does that. So I'm buying handloom and putting some flavor into my dresses. There again I'm talking about promoting handloom there, and again my business purpose is also served. And some way I think we always very అంటే typically business versus society impact elagante we also create a lot of health checkups for them. We also call a lot of hospitals and do health check not only for my employees. If my IT park has multiple employees working, so we always do a heart checkup, cancer checkup. So nobody does it, that's my passion, see wherever I have my good offices, good connects in my circle, I will ensure that my employees are also being tested for something. I'm sure they can't go to a bigger hospital for a 5,000 or 4,000 checkup.
Right.
Because the BPL salaries are always into a different segment.
Right.
A small effect of putting a health checkup in the campus, they will know their vital levels, typically how they are placed. Is their body acting towards the working conditions or not? But I've seen couple of stories from the employees saying that when they got tested, few are typically diabetic. They don't know that they've been diabetic for so many years. So I mean, you're saving the breadwinner of the family, number one.
Right.
See, one way they are my biggest resources for the organization, which they are the assets for the organization.
Right.
So always trying to balance between a profit versus and we are working with a man. It's a manpower industry, I mean,
Right.
for you of me, typically we are not running robots.
Right.
And we work with emotions.
True.
Purely with emotions. And if you are taking care of them, I'm sure salary is anything, any company can pay you a salary, but the warmth, typically what they want, and when they are really in need of help, I mean, today we go and say we are, they don't worry. It can be any hospital, my employees are not really worried. So I extend my extended support to them, to any hospital, any area. If they really had challenges with their health, we try to call up the hospitals with the good officers and say, hey, why did you give a discount if they're in a private hospital? If they're in a government hospital, we call the government MHO, GHSO, and say, why didn't you help them out? So and there is no selfishness towards that. It's all about, when I'm doing for the whole world, why don't you do it for my own employee? And I'm always different in the way I'm thinking it. I'm sure it's a destiny that they're working with us and we are working with them.
Right.
So profit, as you know, profit always have a typical formulas which we certainly get.
Right.
One time of time, and some point of time you'll get your profits. But when you're working with an employee and then you feel that warmth and say, hey, this is the company who takes care of my salary, this is the company who actually give ethical values to that, and there is a vision who drives it forward.
Right.
And tomorrow if I have a problem, I can look back to someone. So this is something very emotional instances which I've understood, and my whole employees or my team has been practiced into that sort of style. Taking care of them whatever best possible ways. I don't say we are doing it everything, but what best possible way as per the terms and conditions. We have been certainly supporting them in all the different ways.
True.
So the balance is very difficult, but still we are practicing to be the same. That's what I think a lot of people chose my company as their partner. And then my iteration rates are always low.
Right.
Because of various factors, as I told. We care, and then that's why I think we've been growing in the industry with all the support of the industry leaders again. It's not Satya or his company growing. It is all the practices, ethical practices, and then some values we are building always. We're not leaving the base values always, and I'm sure I think that's a typical USP if you ask me.
Right.
Building the businesses.
Amazing, sir. I think you spoke really well on the balancing between purpose and profit. One entrepreneur, I would say, or one industrialist that I look up to in that aspect is Mr. Ratan Tata.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No,
Rightly
he's
said.
not just built business, but he has built
built a
India
trust.
as a country as a whole, right?
Trust.
So similarly for you, sir, do you have any role model whom you look up to in
Yes,
the
typically,
entrepreneurship world?
yeah, typically it's Tata again. I typically when I pass by, if I want to choose in my app, if I'm buying something in my app, typically I say why not Tata product. Typically because his ideology of towards the society,
Right.
And today it's not Satya, it's not Prashanth. If you
Right.
touch anybody in this world and say, a Tata is always been typically he's been treated as a god.
Right.
Because of his values.
Right.
And he's also a common man.
Right.
But the way he thinks about the society.
Right.
And every rupee he spends, there is a small cost which actually goes from the pocket of Tata.
Right.
And that's one example which is always motivating to all of us. I mean, every company, everybody who earns it, that can be a 5 paise, 10 paise, whatever it is, it goes back to the society. I think that was one big message from Ratan Tata is always I admire him.
True.
And then we try to implement his footsteps. That why don't we look back? I mean, you are growing, but you have to look back your society.
Right.
You look back people who are really not empowered. Why don't you empower them?
Right.
So that's always interesting for me, as you say. I mean, for you, fortunately, you are also quoting that.
Yeah, we
word.
have that in common, along with a lot of other things.
Lot of other things, but whenever I always say, when I also buy something in item at home, I say to my wife, if you choose something between 2 or 3, pick Tata products only because I trust.
Right.
And whatever I buy, it goes back to the society in some different form. We never know what is that. It can be a charitable trust. It can be a foundation of Tata.
Right.
They're doing good for us. So
Right.
I think this is my take on what you said.
Right. So coming to the transportation, which is most talked about in the recent times, in whichever conferences that I go, right? Transportation is one of the biggest cost expenditure that companies face, and along with that, now there's a lot of talk on the sustainability. And when people talk about sustainability, the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Now you've been to China, you've been to other countries, right?
Yeah.
How do you compare India with other countries in terms of electric vehicle adoption? And do you think that is the only technology that is there, or do we need to look at other technologies as well?
Yeah, I think today world is talking about EV, Prashanth. I think this is a talk of the town, or the right choice today is EV because of various reasons. As you know, sustainability is one mantra we're talking about for last a decade we're talking about, and we are seeing the real fruits of sustainability now.
Right.
It can be like we are coming from a different diesel to a petrol from a EV. You see every 10 vehicles now slowly we're seeing people are buying EV vehicles.
Correct.
Typically you see that. And the corporates, when it comes to the corporates also, the adaptability of EV is slowly coming. I don't say you are 100% to EV,
Right.
but I see 10-15%, slowly it increasing 5% in a quarter.
Right.
If you see the adaptability of EV is also coming very, because companies are also pushing very hard on the sustainability factor, like your EV vehicles, if they have 100 vehicles of the transportation, they say why can't we adopt 30 vehicles to EV and see how it works out.
Right.
Now it's a new industry, it's a new subject for them.
Right.
So, and companies like you who are also encouraging and saying that, hey, we take care of the employees, don't worry, it's not worry about the vehicle, it's
Right.
a typical same transport, we are doing in a better way with an EV.
Right.
One way you're saving the carbon footprints, and the other way you're saying that, the hassle, typically when I drove an EV vehicle, I felt very good.
Right.
When I'm sitting in a petrol,
There was no guilt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
typically it's pretty comfortable, smooth, no sound. It might be very silly words when I'm talking this, but this is a typical feeling. A lot of people are asking why EV.
No, it's cancelling carbon emission, it's cancelling noise pollution.
Noise pollution.
A lot of things, yeah.
And then it's pretty easy to get you charged and move around.
Right.
So that adaptability is 100% coming, Prashanth, today.
Right.
And a lot of bigger companies you take to bigger names like your Googles and Microsofts, I'm sure they also started adapting to this technology. I mean, the bigger people, like when they change, the automatic change comes from the big Bs.
Right.
And then I've seen the changes. Even the small company with 100 employees are also talking, why not we EV for our employees?
Right.
From 100 to 10,000 capacity organizations, they are also saying that yes, we should go for an EV.
Right.
And my experience when I went to the world tour of China and other parts of Korea, I've really seen one thing to understand is every 10 people, at least 8 people are, driving your EV vehicles. So
Right.
you can say out of your 10, 8 people are actually adaptability for the EV.
Right.
I mean, they are typically very forward from what we are now.
Correct.
I'm sure we are also reaching to that heights as India is growing in leaps and bounds.
Correct.
And then the technology, now when I went to the other part of the country like China, I've seen they are also moving to the hydrogen. I rode typically I've used one moped of a hydrogen moped.
Okay. Wow.
So I was driving that, I felt so good. So I've seen how that is built out. Very interestingly, even hydrogen we are not seeing in India, but hydrogen slowly it's evolving in other parts of the world.
Okay.
So that can be the next technology in terms of that is purely sustainable. Even if EV is you talk EV, if it's not 100% sustainable, you can say 80% because the power what you're using is an captive, typically power generated from different sources. But hydrogen is something, the output is simply a hydrogen which is not affecting your environment.
Right. It's just water vapor.
That's a water vapor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So a lot of research is also being done in other parts of the country, and I'm sure the India will also come up with a typical rules and regulations or some norms which India will also come in next couple of years. I'm expecting that with electric and with hydrogen, I'm sure the sustainability models will be much better.
Right.
And our pollution rates also will come down in future.
Right.
These are the two technologies which I understood that predominantly by next 5 years, every household or every corporate will start adapting to the EV.
Right.
I'm sure you have seen a lot of your cars should also be EV.
Absolutely, sir. I think based on my experience, right, I think EVs are working best at this point in time. EVs are working best for private, the owners. But for the ecosystem like employee transportation, there's some challenges that are there.
The infra
which
is
eventually
still
will be
infra has to be still developed by partly with the government and partly with private players, Prashanth, because what will happen is when I spoke to a couple of people on the EV perspective, the infra is still a challenge because every 5 kilometers or 4 kilometers, whatever the range, you should have a lot of EV stations. Still, that is not up to the mark.
Right.
Even I've seen in Bangalore, I've seen in Hyderabad.
How was it in China, sir, when you went there?
I mean, see, they typically what they do is power stations. Every 2-3 kilometers, you have power stations. You can go charge it.
Okay.
And every mall is having your own power charging stations. And then there are high-end power charging stations like your half an hour, 30 minutes.
Right.
Now currently it takes an half an hour for our charging.
Yeah, there's fast charging and there's slow charging.
Slow charging.
Yeah.
So this is where I think you should get a charging in 10-15 minutes. I'm sure the adaptability will be much far because somebody can't wait you for 40 minutes. If you're going from here to some 700 kilometers to a different place, you can't stop 2 times for your charging, right?
Right.
So there should be either the capacity has to be increased,
right.
The number of kilometers, the technology has to increase, like 1,000 kilometers per one ride.
Right.
Exactly. Now we are at 400 or 500. If I see BYD is around.
Correct. Average is 400.
400. So if that has to increase to 1,000 plus, I'm sure I think the adaptability will come and people will have confidence that if I travel also I don't need to worry about the infrastructure.
Right.
Today, biggest worry of any commuter who is commuting in the car, driving his car is, I can go to a limit of around X limit and again I had to stop for a look for a infra support.
Right.
If this small part can be handled, the capacity of the battery has to be enhanced.
Right.
And then the infra has to be enhanced. I'm sure a lot of people will start buying this.
Correct.
Today, if I want to buy, the only challenge is if I want to go for a long drive, I have to stop for a couple of drives.
Right.
If I'm doing a petrol car, I don't need to worry because I can fill it and go around India.
Right.
So this is a typical, some points the improvement has to happen when you compare to the different countries.
Right.
Their charging capacities are different. and the battery capacity is different. The charging time of charging is also different. It's pretty less time with a more 10 minutes you get your charge for 400 kilometers. I think this is the typical ways where the infrastructure has to be enhanced in India.
Right.
I'm sure you will see a lot of change, a sea change happens in next couple of years.
Right.
I'm sure, I'm very, very confident that India will also come to that stage there. I'm sure when EV started, it was only 250 kilometers. I know 250, 300 or 150, 200 kilometers with Tata and other cars.
Right.
Now you see 500 kilometers by BYD is giving.
Right.
And slowly we'll also talk about 800 to 9,000 kilometers per one charge.
Right.
That's the whole thing, it will change.
Yeah. Also, a couple of challenges that people are facing is, one is the high upfront cost of electric vehicle.
Absolutely.
Wherein the 50% of the cost is by the battery only. Second is, like you said, sir, the charging infrastructure is not there. I think companies should look at, OEMs should look at giving electric cars without batteries, and there has to be agencies which provide battery as a service.
Agree.
Wherein, let's say if I'm traveling from Hyderabad to Vijayawada, and if I feel that my battery charge is less, I can go to a station, swap my battery. That interchangeability, if it comes, right?
True, very true.
One, the advantage is the cost of the vehicle would come down because I'm not buying a battery.
Correct.
Battery, I'm renting it out.
Renting it
right?
out,
So that way, I think these two issues can be addressed.
Completely agree, Prashanth. I think you boiled on the right point, which I missed out.
Yeah.
Like a battery on rent.
Right.
I think this is also coming up in few of the startups have started this idea.
Right.
I don't know, from Hyderabad or Bangalore, I've seen couple of startups saying that rent a battery. So that what the time of the time of charging versus replacing should be much
Right.
lesser than what you are expecting.
Right.
This will actually bring a lot of users towards the EV market.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were in China, sir, you were working on lithium and other minerals, right? Could you throw some light on that?
Yeah, what we initially, I was also part of one more company called Celestial Lithium, and
Right.
that's one company who talks about the lithium product, because my passion is all about understanding lithium, and my partners who are my close friends who are also into the industry, we started this understanding about lithium. We went and seen some of the lithium factories there. And then we also recently started Critical Minerals Association of India, which a lot of scientists and then professors who are part of the mining industry and then exploration experts were also part of this. This typically a lot of critical minerals, we call minerals which are not available in part of India and which is part of the world. Global typical critical minerals are there, which we are trying to import.
Right.
And then which is used for our own user, like your rocket has to the satellite has some soft component called lithium. Right. When they use it, and then and the other industries also use a lot of critical minerals. So we are trying to bring that lithium critical minerals into the India through our company. That's one area where we are also working on a mineral industry. We just started our journey just 4 or 5 months back.
Right.
But we are working with the global players in USA, UK, Germany, because they are playing a big role in global. So that also brings some value to India. This is just not a business, but we are trying to empower and bring a lot of minerals which is not available in India to not available in India from other parts of the global to India.
Right.
That way, I think our economy also grows up. So we are identifying good players in the globe where we can do business.
Right. So, sir, you have seen yourself as an employee. Now you're leading teams, talking to a lot of influential people. As a leader, what is it that you carry, or what lessons have you learned over a period of time?
Basically, seeing leaders, so I took role models, a couple of people, right? My mentor, Jayesh Ranjan Garu.
Right.
So he's a man of, typically he's a man of action. As
Right.
Many people know. I mean, Jayesh Ranjan Garu is just not known as a person, as an special secretary to God. He's been more of an entrepreneur. Typically his ideology can be much beyond a CEO. And I've seen some of the role models like this is the commitment what they do, and every act they do, it implies to developing of your own state.
Right.
I mean, if a decision is taken from the desk, I'm sure as an ecosystem is also been improving. Example, 100 plus IT companies have started.
Right.
So what will happen is the ecosystem is also developing. You'll have transport, you will have typical cafeterias, you'll have hotels, you'll have,
Right.
I mean, see, one typical idea of creating employment will give hundreds of indirect employment. So that's what I've seen leaders always building something special.
Right.
So it can be saving of lakes.
Right.
So I really love that idea of saving the lakes. Because a lot of lakes, typically Hyderabad is called as a lake city.
Right.
Once upon a time, when you see at least 40 years back, every area used to have a nice, wonderful, beautiful lake.
Right.
But slowly, with urbanization, what happened is people started constructing buildings, stopping the water flow, which is leading to the urban flooding.
Right.
So today I've seen leaders like Rangnath Garu is one more great visionary, if I say. I mean, and he's always towards the environment. When I had a coffee chat with him, he always says that he's also very passionate about the environment, and especially he's now put into a lakes department. I'm sure you all know that. So people like him, and I have seen one more leader like Satyanarayana Garu. He's a very visionary, and then he's a very dynamic leader. And always I see the way he works, the style, and then he's very down to earth. More of the officers, which we started learning from a lot of their great qualities, which we try to imbibe. I'm
Right.
sure you try to become a good leader.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
people look at you. I mean, see, it's all about your typical attitude. How do you manage, and
Right.
how do you receive people?
Right.
I mean, if I'm trying to speak to you, I'm sure if my heart is not really talking to you, if only
Right.
Satya is talking to you, you will listen to me for 5 minutes.
Right.
But if really with heart I'm talking to you, you don't really watch
Right.
on your time.
Right.
You tend to talk to me.
Right.
So there are leaders which are very influential, and a small idea can change somebody's life.
Right.
So I'm sure that today what we are talking, at least a half-second bite might change somebody's idea. That is what today we are trying to bring.
Right.
I got motivated by some message when I'm seeing some video, by
Right.
some podcast.
Right.
I'm sure the similar way, I think, between both of us, the
Absolutely.
interactions.
Right.
I'm sure even I get motivated, you get motivated.
Right.
You understand my world, I understand your world.
Right.
So this is something which I learned when I'm speaking to experts like you and other people also.
Right.
Continuous learning. If you ask
Absolutely.
me, it's a continuous learning.
Right.
And every person has a different skill set.
Right.
So
True.
when you talk, when you open your heart, when you open your horizon and start speaking,
Right.
you get the gems out of it.
Right.
So this is something which I love, talking to a lot of people, networking. That's what
Right.
today my world is all about, networking. If you see, Satya is all about networking.
All about network, yeah.
And what is that I can do for you? That's the one question which always comes to mind. If somebody calls me and say, there should be a reason calling me. So what can I help for you? Within my limit, what I can do.
Right.
So these are the few points which I thought I'll share with you on a more of a candid
Right.
things which I enjoy doing this.
So I've always seen you as a very calm, gentle personality, a gentle leader. But I'm sure in these 25 years of your journey, somewhere you must have felt agitated, or you must have felt very frustrated with some things happening or some things not happening.
Yeah,
Who is
I
the
know.
person you reach out to? For example, if I get I get clueless, right? What I do is I immediately go to either Rakesh or Adi or my mentor. Shailu.
Okay.
Like that, do you have any personalities in your life whom you can go to?
Typically, see, I know everybody will have frustrations. After all, you're a human being. You are driven with emotions.
Right.
See, people accept, don't accept. People are driven with emotions. It can be a top of sitting on a CEO chair, or somebody sitting, and emotions are always there.
Right.
Every day you start with emotions. So sometimes I also felt very rare occasions. When you're working towards society, or
Right.
when you're working towards job, when you're getting a lot of issues. Certainly, I look at my well-wishers, as like you said, and I typically I speak to my better half, my wife, and she's always a great mentor to me, because she always gives a better ideas, and she always accepts me as a person. She knows me as a person, so I always give the credit to my wife, because she's more like a I'm sure she has already had of a wife, but certainly, I also feel that, there is somebody who can hear me and give me some sort of solutions. And she is the best person for you or for me.
Absolutely.
And of course, my parents and my brothers, we go back to them. And then I talk and say, this is my concern. I'm sure they also give me great thoughts. They're the biggest strength. If you ask me what Satya's strength is my family. I should admit that along with my parents and my brothers, my
Right.
sister, and my wife, and of course the well-wisher system like you.
Right.
So I also feel that I should take a phone and speak, because if you don't have that ecosystem of people reaching you, after all you're a human being.
Right.
So there are places where you go so much down, and then always I take some time, very calm,
Right.
and then you pass that cloud and then you come back. Maybe
Right.
not every day is the same day. So
Right.
that day may be very bad. Um, Try to be as calm as possible, as low as possible.
Right.
And then you set your reboot your button for next day.
Right.
You can't take it for long. That day, go for a good sleep, wake up with a fresh smile, and then you start your day.
Right.
So this is what as you said, these are my people which I go and talk to myself,
Right.
because they give the best ideas.
Sir, I'm sure, somewhere you are very philosophical in the way you think and the way you talk and the things that you do, right? What kind of books do you read, sir? What kind of books motivate you?
Typically, no, to be honestly speaking, I'm more of a read Bhagavad Gita. Typically, anybody does it. So I also understand some of the lines. I take it from my father, especially. He chants that in a very special way, and he knows the complete Gita of what the whole summary of it.
Okay.
So whenever we sit in a weekly meetings, and I go meet, he's with me, of course, with my brother. So he talks about one sloka and then he explains it to me. So I don't read any books, I'll be honestly admitting. But when I go and sit with him, he talks about that slokas. I love to listen, and then he gives me a very brief understanding about the Gita, which is apt to the real world. Typically, it is very apt to the real world,
Right.
And so it connects me to the very reality of, and a lot of attributes or the attitudes are carried out from my parents. I'm sure anybody as a son, you try to learn it from your elders.
Right.
So which I try to take a lot of things from the elders, because they are the biggest assets which I feel for any success of a person.
Right.
And today as a person you're sitting, I'm sure it's not we have built, somebody has built us.
Right.
And the idea or the attitude which was built is also built from your parents.
Right.
Some of them you carry forward, right? I'm sure there is nothing you built your own.
Absolutely.
Skills can be built, but the attitudes and the concerns or the love towards somebody, I think, has to be bought from your previous generation.
Right.
So, and it's a continuous learning, Prashanth. I learn something from you when I speak with you. I learn something from them. But what you take out the best of somebody is
Correct.
what you learn. I mean, of course, books will always
Absolutely.
teach the oldest methodology of living.
Right.
But the practical is when you start working with people, you learn much better than what books are teaching
Absolutely.
you.
Right. Right.
I mean, they are very impactful, very immediate. So you are connecting, and what Prashanth has, and how do he deals with people, how do he deals with the employees. When a situation comes, how is he responding?
Right.
I'm sure a lot of you agree with me. The COVID has taught so many lessons to the world.
True.
But there are two options again here. Somebody who learned from the mistakes of the COVID, I'm seeing there is a change. The people, chalega yaar, that's done. We'll wait for one more COVID.
Right.
So there is options are that you want to learn, or you want to implement, or you want to just see and chalega. These are the two types I've seen. A lot of
Right.
people have changed after COVID.
Right.
So it's all about you have to accept that and say that I want to change. I want to change for my own self, not to showcase something or show it to somebody.
Right.
So attitude is something which I don't want to show it to you. This is mine. This is me, myself. I don't want to create some a different mask for somebody. But
Right.
a lot of people does it. So I keep learning from people. When I meet, I'll certainly ask the success stories.
Right.
Hey, what is your success story? What do you felt? I mean, my every meeting with will always ask for a success story. Or they say, how did you achieve this? What made you make this happen? So we learn from that, and then I'm taking every small input as to my own personal growth.
Right. So as a leader, right, people look up to me for a lot of things, right? A lot of decisions have to be taken, and a lot of like I said, a lot of decisions have to be taken. A lot of tough decisions sometimes have to be taken. But one thing that I've always carried with myself when I'm dealing with people, whether it is our internal people or external people, is when they are not standing up to your expectations, right? I always think the reason behind it. What could be the reason that they're not able to do something that I've told them to do? So as a leader, I always carried the principle of being empathetic to people. Like that, do you endorse any principle? That one thing that you've carried throughout your professional journey?
So one thing is, what you say, you have to do it. Number one, first principle is, and you only commit what you can do.
Right.
So these are the two things I'm always practicing it. See, there are opportunities coming, like any business, the opportunities come very quick.
Right.
But you have to be always choosy. Can I do that?
Right.
Am I capable for doing that? It can
Right.
be any ways. It can be financial way. It can be your capability of your team. Or now today, biggest failure of any organization or any new startup is they accept it because of they want a client.
Mm.
And they accept it, and sometimes you tend to fail because you don't know the real depth of it.
Correct.
So the assessment is not done properly. Do you have a proper manpower to do that? Do you have a proper technology to do that? Do you have a proper approach to that? Do Satya or do Prashanth has a bandwidth of doing that business? Because you're already preoccupied with 10 clients.
Right.
Do you want 10 more clients in a month to add to your system? So always you have to look back as a business is how capable you are, how qualitative you can do. Even it is a small, typically a small example, you say you want to go to a restaurant which is a tasty in food, which is delicious for you. You just don't walk into a restaurant for a hunger, I'm sure.
Right.
There are times where you are hungry, you go to any
Right.
restaurant, but you are specific when you're taking your family or when
Right.
you want to go for vacation.
Right.
You chose a hotel, you chose a restaurant, you chose a menu.
Right.
So I always feel that you should choose a client.
Right.
Or they should choose you because you have a quality.
Right.
I always feel that the one part of quality is unique where nobody actually puts into that. There are so many transport, there are so many cabs, there are so many technologies built for transport, but why only Prashanth or why only WhistleDrive has to do is, that's a USP which I always say that this is something different from the existing thing. And we are very approachable and we can build anything for you.
Correct.
This is something people love it.
Right.
What is that one piece missing for you? We will build it for you. And this is the way I think this typical ideology or methodology which I personally feel the success will always follow you.
Right.
And this is one thing which I noticed in my life. What is capable? How are you capable for that job? And your team is also ready for that or not.
Right.
If your 3 or 4 factors are not ready, don't get into that venture and say it can profit you double and triple for your business.
Right.
But doesn't mean it.
Correct.
It is very short term,
Right.
You do it for 6 months and say, hey, we are not able to do, I'm very sorry.
Right.
Instead of saying that, I will take up the business after 6 months.
Right.
So these are the two different ways I approach, which as an entrepreneur, you should look into that.
Understood, sir.
The approach.
Sometimes it's important to say no at that particular
Absolutely.
point in time.
It's always important to say no.
Yeah.
Taking it, not committing to that, under commit, or you don't live it, and the whole industry looks at you that it's a failure. And to build that brand, it will take another 6-10 years for you to that name into the market.
Right. Right.
Instead of you go in an organic way.
Right.
Let it take its own time of duration to grow your business.
Right.
So that's a funda. What I personally feel, it's my perception, my own perception. It can be in the other way around.
I think it applies to a lot of businesses.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So WhistleDrive and Satya collaboration dates back to 2018, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, true.
And you've seen our journey.
Absolutely.
Any suggestions that you want to give to WhistleDrive, sir?
Yeah, I think I've seen both of you, of course, Rakesh and you are known to me as my good friends. I'm sure I heard that WhistleDrive at the time of when you said 2018, and the great ideology you came up with the technology and then the transportation business, which I've been supporting from last 25 years. Especially, I think when I met both of you, especially my interactions with Rakesh might be one or two, but when I started interacting with you, and the approachability of you, instead of Prashanth, I'm talking about you're more approachable. And today, what client is looking is they don't need the bigger brands; they need people who can talk.
Right.
They can't talk with the brand.
Right.
They can't talk with a robot. Robot can have a program thing.
Right.
Today, if I talk with Prashanth, if I am open to give my problems, today
Right.
why they come to a transport vendor or a technology partner is because today we can't manage a bigger business, a 20,000 an employee-based company.
Right.
Without technology, they can't run business.
Right.
Today, they need people like you.
Right.
And people who can hear our problems.
Right.
Hey, I have a problem at X, Y, and Z. Can you fix that and put it into my dashboard?
Right.
This is a very small example.
Right.
And that way I've seen WhistleDrive giving a lot of solutions to the industry.
Right.
Because today I'm sitting in a different chair called TFMC.
Right.
For me, there are so many companies like you who've been interacting, supporting them in TFMC. If you see my TFMC, also a lot of aggregators from are coming for this event.
Right.
And I've seen people like you who are coming with great ideas, great technologies. And more towards that is the way things are being done. I mean, a lot of people talk about WhistleDrive, which when I have in coffee chat, is the approachability, number one. Number two, the commitment, what you do it to the clients. I mean, and the amount of care you take is also a fantastic feedback which I have received. And then the way you're growing. I mean, you also have your own strategies to grow, and the amount of solutions you're providing to the industry, which I know around 70% of your technology, how it works out. So the amount of the access or the easy ways of technology you have built, which is adaptable to the recent trends of technology. That is also one of the greatest point which I tell that why WhistleDrive is also growing in the market.
Right.
And the fourth one is promoting the local voices, which I really loved after talking to you. Is there are so many forums coming from different parts of India and then doing events and going. But TFMC is something we are trying to say we are local. And I'm not saying that we are local or we Indian. We are all Indians. But what will happen is every city has its own ecosystem. And today TFMC is also built in a pretty own local ecosystem.
Right.
And then always our heart is towards the people who started the business here, and we want everybody to succeed here. It's not only local.
Right.
And people like you who come forward and say, hey, TFMC is coming up, why don't we participate and why don't you promote that?
Right.
These are some of the ideas which I really loved it when WhistleDrive is always and a great support for TFMC when we do events, when we do our magazines, So that way, I think you've been very helpful for building the network.
Right.
So indirectly, what you're trying to do is you're building the network in a bigger scale, which is one fine day it will come back and give back in a very big way.
Right.
So that's I really appreciate that. There is no second thought from you when I say or my team says that we want your support. Till now, I never heard a no from anybody because. And the same way, I keep talking to TFMC members that people who are coming, the partners who are coming and supporting the TFMC initiatives or annual days, I think it's a time to give back to them through form of a business.
Right.
So choose somebody who is promoting your localization, promoting your local voice. You should also choose them as your preferred partner.
Right.
So that way we've been also, who have been promoting, who have been excelling into the industry, we've been backing up them, and we're certainly asking them what support you need.
Right.
So industry also need a good people to work.
Right.
It's not like that you can pick a technology partner, you can pick a transport vendor, and tomorrow you start the business. Then you should also have a credibility.
Right.
I'm sure today you have built the credibility to, to an extent where people know a brand, people know the person who is managing the company. It also matters.
Right. Right.
So these are a few things which I thought why only Prashanth, why only WhistleDrive. There is always a different methodology people look at you.
Right.
And I've seen from a starting of your company till now, I think I've seen you growing, and the way you are growing, in what ways you are growing. And also, I've been very clearly watching you, the strategies of growing, or how you are concerned about the societies. So
Right.
there are important factors to grow, Prashant.
Right.
As you earlier you were talking about how you're balancing the society and profit.
Right.
Every business should have this
Correct.
in a balancing of both.
Right.
If they do both, I'm sure they will grow very much. They will go fast.
Right.
And take care of your own employee there.
Right.
All your drivers, all your staff. So
Right.
they should feel proud that I'm working for a WhistleDrive.
Right.
I'm sure they are your brand ambassadors. You don't need a celebrity to come in a
Absolutely.
brand ambassador.
Yeah.
They are your brand ambassadors.
Right.
Promote them whichever area they are, reward them. Take their family for a vacation. These are small ideas which will change your business into next level.
Right.
And that's where whole credit goes to the founders like you who've been doing a great job. And the whole industry will accept you. I'm telling you at this in front of everyone that the podcast. When you do all these attributes, I think industry will choose someone who is doing good for the society.
Right. End of the day, sir, like you rightly said at the beginning of the podcast, right? It's about we are dealing with people.
Absolutely.
And unless and until you have empathy towards people, taking care of their well-being,
Yeah.
we as a transport service provider would not prosper.
Absolutely.
And like you said, they are our brand ambassadors along with our existing clients.
Absolutely.
And the reason why WhistleDrive always wanted to collaborate with TFMC is purely because of the initiatives that you
Thank you for that.
as a president of TFMC takes. I mean, you talk about sustainability, you talk about innovation, and at the same time you do a lot of philanthropic work.
Yeah.
That's where I think WhistleDrive feels that connect where it always strives to contribute from its side. And that's the reason we always wanted to collaborate with you.
Thank you for
and
that
hope
kind
that-
words, Prashant. I
hope
mean,
that we'll
it
continue that association.
always motivates me to when you keep telling that. Again, it's a motivation. Today we don't expect in return, but in a small line of motivation will make me 10 years to work for this. A
Right.
small line will say, that's what I keep telling in a lot of forums that one line of motivation, you're doing a good job, that makes me to again work for next 10 years. It's a fuel for me.
Right.
So now you give me a responsibility that we have been supporting. I'm sure that's the way even WhistleDrive, I appreciate that you are supporting us.
Right. Yeah, that support will always be there, sir. One final question before we end
Please.
this, sir. What is the vision you have for 24 SIPS and TFMC? What is the vision for the next, let's say, 5 years?
See, basically, there are two layers of two directions of vision. One is more of a business perspective. Another one is TFMC is more of an typically it's a society-oriented forum, knowledge-oriented firm. So for TFMC, the first one I'll talk about TFMC. TFMC, when we started with 10 or 15 companies, now we are 800 companies who are followers of TFMC. I mean, typically the facilities heads, the CEOs, CXOs,
Right.
and the procurement heads and the HR heads. So initially we thought TFMC only talks about FMs. But later what a lot of people after seeing TFMC, they said, why can't a HR can also be part of TFMC?
Right.
And slowly when we started talking to HR, they said, why not procurement? So because they are part of the ecosystem.
Right.
So we need everybody into the system.
Right.
And then few of the feedback from partners like you said, why not a CEO or a center head can also be part of the forum?
Right.
So this was the last 2 years idea. Then slowly it has grown up, and now you see an ecosystem has all the partners,
Right.
and nobody is left out.
Right.
And initially you used to come to meet only FMs. Now you come to TFMC, you meet all the different flavors.
Right.
So you never know. I mean, what your business, who can be your decision makers.
Right.
And we still practicing this in next 10 years. Our idea is to create more approachability to different sectors. Now we
Right.
are talking about IT, ITS. Now slowly pharmaceutical industries also, because they are not part of the city, they are always in the extreme end of the cities. If you know that they are in a different part of the city. So for the last 10 years, I think they are working in silos.
Right.
The pharma industry FMs are always have a different forum of industry because they meet together.
Right.
Their IT, ITS and BPO, they are into one sector. So we are
Right.
trying to collaborate all and say this is all one FM. So if you see all my hashtags or any of my social media, we say one FM.
Right.
One FM is nothing but we are all together what we are doing today.
Right. Right.
Similarly, I think we are trying to bring this collaboration, collectiveness, and that's one part we want to do it. And from an industry perspective, as you know, a lot of people lose jobs because of the global conditions, economic conditions. So as a TFMC, as a mother of all, so we try to take them, talk to them within the sphere of your facilities. We try to provide jobs. So we are trying to do more into the industry, because somebody actually lose a job, they can't even go and talk to your friend, they can't talk to your family. There is something very distress time. So a lot of people actually undergo that distress when they lose jobs, and it's not their fault.
True.
It's all because of the conditions in the office or conditions of the business. They have to say no to the employees. And you know that every day you see a lot of layoffs are happening in the ITS industries and different industries. So we always want to act as a more of a forum which take care of them and then provide them a decent opportunity. I mean, we only just say that, hey, go to X company, Y company, there is an opportunity. So we guide them in a right direction, because our whole family is dependent upon this. So that's one area we are trying to improve on the jobs perspective. And the third one is, we are trying to do a lot of knowledge skill enhancements. Like we are tying up with some of the institutions in India, with the government-based institutions, where facilities management courses has been encouraged to the FMs, so that they get certified from a reputed government institute, they get a better pay. So TFMC vision is very simple, Prashanth. Basically, we are thinking to build more network, which is useful for more of people, partners, and useful for the government, useful for own development. So today we created groups in TFMC. People get instant answers. Somebody's post and say, hey, I need a transport vendor, he'll get 5 vendors. If I say, hey, I'm having a challenge at my office, what should I do? A typical question. There are 6 or 7 people who immediately respond and say. And now the network what we have created, anybody can join that. See, it's not like you have to be 25-year-old experienced people who should know about Hyderabad. A person who is coming from out of the Hyderabad, like some other place in India, they come to Hyderabad, they join a company, they join the network, they ask a question, you get an answer. So we created a system where anybody can get into the system very quickly in a week's time. So today for every FM, the success is all about how much data you have, how much contacts you have, how fast you can mobilize. Can you manage the complete facility with a complete knowledge? Typically, FM should be well equipped 360 degrees. And he can't say that I only know real estate. No, he's not. Today, the world is not that. He should know real estate, he should know transport, he should know about PR. If any challenges happens to the employee transportation or an employee when he's traveling outside, how do you reach a police station, and how fast can you help an employee? And then he should also know the local governance, typically local governance, what's happening towards the police, what's happening towards your laws, especially the labor laws, it can trade licenses. So there are so many areas you should equip to become a perfect facilities manager. Otherwise, if you are only working in silos, like I only know administration, and no, it's not. Today the world is very fast. You should have a technical knowledge also. To build any offices, you should have a technical knowledge, like what is your HVAC, what is your fire alarm system working. And a traditional way of admin is different, the current system is different. So వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా that they had to equip and get into certification model. And every FM should also get trained onto the sustainability of certificate ladder. If government has created, everybody has to do that. Because sustainability at home, sustainability office is something which everybody has to practice. And whatever you buy in your office should also be reusable. And you can't spoil the environment because of our own selfish offices. So akkada kuda, and today if you see the changes coming from sustainable gifting also meer vinnaru. Today we are buying glass bottles instead of your plastic bottles. Today we are buying jute bags instead of your plastic bags. So change anedi vachesindi. So these are all the new upgrade things which an FM has to upgrade. Daniki we are putting all the efforts to make him understand. That's a vision for my next 10 years. And 24/6 perspective, if you ask me, it's a business. We are growing and we are imparting the same values again and again. And then we are also trying to bring a lot of technology into the system. So like everybody has success with the technology. We are also, when I'm working with a small piece versus a big piece, we need a technology. So certainly we are implementing a technology into my 24 steps. So today, if I'm at 700, if I can, my technology that I'm capable of serving 7,000 people.
Amazing.
So this is one vision which I had for both the companies. I mean, TFMC is more of a forum and 24 steps is more of a company to grow. I'm sure we'll also learn from leaders and then we'll also adapt for the changes in coming years to come.
Thank you so much, sir. And I and WhistleDrive wishes you all the very best in your future, vision and plans. Hope that all your visions come true.
Thanks, Prashanth. I think it's equally, I'm really honored and privileged to be with you today in the podcast. And then this discussion was very fabulous, and then I enjoyed every moment of my word, every moment, talking with you because. So WhistleDrive, I know, as you know, for so many years, the time has come to sit with you and then have a nice chat with you. I'm sure we look forward for more such occasions in coming days to come or years to come. Tapakunda, I think we'll do this, and any support from TFMC, you always have. You know that you are accessible to the TFMC.
Absolutely.
And whole family of TFMC. I mean, this is not a new thing for you.
Right.
All my friends, well-wishers who's part of the fraternity, I'm sure they will support you. That's what.
Always a pleasure talking to you, sir. And thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have event coming up. So, thank you so much for taking your time out and, sharing your insights.
Thanks, Prashanth.
Thank you so much,
Looking forward,
sir.
all the best to WhistleDrive and complete team.
Thank you so much, sir.